Hello, and welcome to the Adventure Archive. My name is Ryan, and I'll be your dungeon master tonight as we continue our adventures in the Dark Kingdoms. With me, we have Matt as Victor of the Calder, the human death cleric, Jess as Dariana Bloodright, the elf-marked Seraphage sorceress, for now, Jason as Cutter the Faceless, the Darrakul rogue duelist, Cam as Corin Fleshrend, the Darrakul Battlemaster fighter, and Eric as Sylvester, the Dampier Warlock, and his spine devil familiar, Annie. The Dark Kingdoms takes place in the Midgard setting, which is published by Kobold Press, so you will notice some differences in some of the races, classes, and features and whatnot. And please be aware, this is an evil campaign containing evil-aligned characters in a dark fantasy setting, and as such, may not be suitable for some audiences. Graphic descriptions of gore, murder, mutilation, and torture are fairly common. Don't get to say that many more
I
times.
know. I was just thinking that. Well, I was thinking, how often do you ever hear that?
Yeah, not
Torture and mutilation
often.
is fairly common.
So yeah, a couple more of those probably. We'll see. But yeah, if you guys didn't know or don't know, this is the Dark Kingdoms. It is our evil campaign, as I just said, and we are in the home stretch. We are in what is the final city, I assume, that we're going to go to, as the party is trying to stop a dark ritual that could alter history of the world as they know it. So how's everyone doing tonight?
Good. Ready to
Excellent.
wake up from my nap, I guess.
Yeah.
Little
Yeah.
nervous.
Yeah. Not,
Well, yeah,
not
we're
waking up
still,
from a nap.
Yeah. So this is, I don't want to say wrapped up a loose end, but I think, offered a little bit of something that I hope most of you guys get in the next couple sessions. A little bit of, not closure, I guess, since it's really opening up a new chapter in your life,
Yeah.
So many opportunities.
Hey, Plasma Spartan
That's awesome.
said, you guys are awesome and have gotten me and 4 friends into D&D. Never played as a kid, but at 31, finally into it. Thanks. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much for saying that. I really appreciate that. You should also check out the other games we play, like Merkborg.
While Ryan's on his way out of 5e.
5e, yeah. But yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much for saying that. We really appreciate it. So yeah, I don't think we really have a whole lot of news going on. We don't even have Merkborg tomorrow because Beach Hasn't Ragnarok wrapped up. Yeah, so if you guys are aware of the Merkborg vinyl, yeah, the Merkborg vinyl that came out recently, Jason did a wonderful campaign that we kind of just apparently just weaved right through to the end on.
It's cool. I mean, that's part of it.
Yeah. And it was a great time, so definitely check it out. I think that arc, I think it's only 5 episodes for that arc.
5, yeah.
I think we're at like 18 or 20 Merkborg.
I think we're at, I looked the other day, it's like 22, including the 0
22.
session. Yeah,
22
like
sessions of Merkborg. That's awesome. And then, do you want to talk about what comes next, or do you want to save that for a while?
I think we could talk about it. Why not? So I think we're going to do a little bit of a space horror arc here at the Adventure Archive. There's a lot of great... what was that?
Ryan's grabbing his
book. I have it right here too. But you're probably not going to see mine because of the... Yeah, I'm not using the green screen. So Death in Space, who are a couple of the guys are from the Stockholm Cartel, which Johan Nor and Pelle Nilsson are part of. But they partnered with Free League again to publish a really cool space horror game where every page is black. I can't imagine the ink that went into this thing. Show the camera how black these pages are. But really cool style. Nice. It's kind of similar to Merkborg. It's a D20 system and everything, but there's a lot of cool extra things like you guys get a hub, which is like a spacecraft or some kind of station. So we'll be kicking that off soon. We're going to do a 0 session as well, just to kind of go over the rules and character creation, because that's always fun with the roll tables and stuff. And then running the introductory adventure that comes with the book in the back, which is called, I think it's called Welcome to the, what's it called? I don't know.
Welcome to the ring.
Welcome to the ring. That's it.
And if you guys missed out on the special edition from the Kickstarter, you definitely missed out. This thing
that's
is
awesome.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. And pushing a little bit into the like not medieval fantasy, even probably before we get to Death in Space, we're gonna be doing Gamma World with Eric running a one-ish shot. So that will be a really good time that I'm really looking forward to as well. So we're kind of going from the deep darkness here of Dark Kingdoms and Merkborg right out into space for the foreseeable future. So we'll see what that brings us here on the Adventure Archive. And then we have no episode of the Weekly Scroll this week.
Oh, I didn't know.
Hunter has some class stuff he needs to catch up on. And then I don't know if I'm going to do anything. I probably won't. I actually thought about doing some 12 years. Kind of depends on how I feel Friday. So we'll see. I might announce that. And if so, I'll do some 12 years because one way or another, we're definitely going to be running that. Max Moon, who is an amazing friend of the show and creator, actually sent me some documents that are 2-player. So you can run 2 people at the same time with a lot of resources that he gave me. So either people can run it individually or competitively / cooperatively. So we'll be doing that at some point. And I think that's all that's coming up, but I have no idea what we're doing next week on the Weekly Scroll. So that is a foreseeable future of the Adventure Archive. Excited for all of those things. And we'll see what happens here on Wednesday going forward as well. And I think that's about all we have. So let's get into it. You unnamed party of adventurers. I'm not going to go all the way back to Rojan, but you, through your trials, tribulations, and adventures, have found yourself working for the king of the vampire kingdom of Midgard, who 10 years ago allied with the ghouls of the Imperium and took over the kingdom of Krakovar. You were sent out on a mission to stop a heretical sect of worshippers of the blood goddess Morena, the state religion of the vampires, but more importantly, to figure out who was kind of messing with the alliance that the vampires had with the Ghoul Imperium. And over the course of your explorations, you found out that there is a faction within the Imperium led by Duke Drago Blackfly and apparently Radomir Marrowblight, one of the favorites of the current Emperor Nisophoros and one of the heads of one of the religions in the Imperium, that are seeking to, it sounds like, potentially overthrow or take over the empire for their own machinations, possibly leading to some type of religious kingdom of hunger and power for this supposed favorite duke of the emperor. You were supposed to find the Archduke Avgost, who is the brother of the king of Krakovar, the kingdom that's taken over, and the last royal blood of that line. And with that blood, there apparently is some dark ritual going to take place that could impact and change the entire course of history in Midgard in some way, shape, or form better for Marrowblight and for Blackfly. You have made your way across the continent and down into the underworld to the pure city of Vandecool, the second biggest and most important city in the Imperium that is currently controlled by Blackfly and apparently Marrowblight. You are in the process of investigating this city of Vandecool to try to find out exactly where, when, and how this ritual is going to take place. You had met a fallen, many thought dead king of the ghouls prior to it becoming the Empire. Met an ally of him who directed you towards allies within the city, one of which you found, the Marquis de Mas. After meeting with him, appearing to think that he is on the up and up, he told you 2 things. Don't trust the Marquess, and there is apparently a new person in town who could potentially be an ally of yours since you work for King Lucan. And that was this mother, Ludmilla Genova, I believe her name was. But upon going to visit her at this temple, since he said that she was supposedly a vampiress, the Temple of Agonizing Bliss, you realized, or at least Dariana did, because the rest of you took refreshments and are passed out on a couch, that this is not the woman she supposedly appears to be in the Imperium. It is actually the Countess Dallingen, a interesting figure within the Vampire Kingdom who's apparently constantly falling in and out of favor with Lucan, and is currently in his favor here in Vandecool, posing as somebody else. But Dariana knows her from her past. They would run into each other frequently, or at least run into her agents, as they were both hunting down blood magic items. And at one point, Dariana's most important blood magic item, her Tome of Tergash, basically the evil originator of blood magic, was stolen by an archmage named Timbor who worked for the Countess. Upon entering the Temple of Agonizing Bliss and realizing this, Dariana and Dallingen had a conversation about the future. Apparently, as we won't say a punishment for not getting in contact with Lucan for quite a while, as they were supposed to at least weekly check in, he got a message to Dallingen that said if they were to find her, she is to offer aid, but can exact any price that she wants. And the price that she offered to Dariana was a choice. It was the life of her companion slash familiar slash just best friend, Brian, the blood elemental, or she could become a vampiress, do whatever she wants after the first 10 years, because the first decade will be spent working for her. As we were finishing last week, Dariana made her choice and said that she will keep Brian, actually even getting the book back that she's lost so long ago, but will become a vampiress under Dallingen when all of this is done. And that's where we're picking up this week. So, Dariana, as you're standing in front of Countess Dallingen, next to this other unnamed vampiress that you've met numerous times, having just made this choice, what do you want to do? What do you want to say?
I mean, I told her my choice. What does she say to that?
He said, "Wonderful, dear. That's simply wonderful. You're going to have such a great time. And who knows, maybe after 10 years, you'll just want to keep working for me. I'm not that bad of a mistress. Timbor knows this."
Yes, Timbor. Swell guy.
He is indeed. So the assistance I have to offer you in exchange for this, and don't forget, Lucan himself allowed me to exact this cost, so I will expect you to pay up, and so will he. The aid I have to offer is this. Still trying to figure out exactly when the ritual is taking place, but I have discovered its location. They've been planning this for quite some time, and it's one of the reasons I actually chose here. make the Temple of Agonizing Bliss. There is actually, within this temple itself, a tunnel that leads to a secret door beneath the Bone Cathedral. Bone Cathedral's not far. You can see it from here. It's on the way to the Pyramid of Anu Atma. That is where the ritual will take place. Through these tunnels, you will be able to find your way into the Bone Cathedral from up underneath, bypassing any exterior guards and potentially some right on the inside as well. I don't believe it will take you too far into the temple, most likely just into or past the entrance. The temple itself even has been altered since I've been here. But when you know the time and date of this ritual, find your way back to me here at my Temple of Agonizing Bliss, and I will lead you down into that tunnel, and you can make your way into the cathedral to stop this ritual from taking place.
Okay.
Do you have any questions, dear?
Why aren't you helping us stop this ritual?
I am giving you a way in.
You seem very powerful. Why won't you lend a hand?
True power works from behind the scenes, dear. I will not put myself at risk in that way. I have not lasted as long as I have by being at the front of the fight.
See, that's
not
why you
my
sent
place.
Timbal to me.
That's exactly why I sent Timbal to you, and it worked quite well in my favor, did it not?
Yes.
I have found myself back in the graces of Lucan, and I tend to spend many years there. Risk an encounter with these ghouls. And it would be wonderful if you would finish this sooner than later so I can get out of here.
I'd like to spend as much time as possible not being your slave.
And at least 10 years. Don't think of it as slavery. That's not. You'll be compensated appropriately. It's just your time, really. And once you become like me, 10 years is a blink of an eye. And you'll have your little friend with you. Oh, yes, and your book as well. Would you like this back?
Yes.
I'm going to hold on to it until you find the date and time of the ritual, and I'll give it to you as you go through the tunnel. How about that? Just make sure you come back.
How am I supposed to trust you?
I don't care.
If we seal the deal now, will you give it back to me?
The deal has been sealed. You have made your choice.
What if I change my mind?
It will be quite interesting when the entire city knows you're here and what you're doing. And Lucan will find you.
What if I make a different choice?
The choice has been set in stone, dear. It's too late for that. Stop dilly-dallying. Again, it's only 10 years, and then you have eternity to do whatever you would like to do. Why don't you go get your little friends off the couch, go find the date of the ritual, come back, get your book, and stop all of this. Does that sound like a plan?
Sounds like I have no choice.
All right, well then go.
All right.
See you soon.
I guess I'll go see what they're up to.
So as you exit, you hear this laughter behind you, kind of filling the Temple of Agonizing Bliss, kind of cuts off as the door shuts behind you. And when you come back out, you see your companions once again as they were on these large, comfortable red couches with these two vampiruses kind of looking at them hungrily. But as you come back out, they kind of get this like, okay, kind of look on their face, and they go over and they give you guys some like taps on the cheeks and little shakes, and you start to come up from your stupor. And then they exit back into the temple. And you five are left in this antechamber.
Does that count as a short rest?
I will
Yeah,
say
let's
it
tear some
absolutely
shit up,
does.
Sylvester.
Yeah, short rest for the four of you. So I don't think you've taken any damage, but if you want to get your spells back or do anything like that, you absolutely can.
Warlocks, it's all about the short rest.
There you go. Then sure, 100%. So as you awaken, you see Dariana just kind of standing there inside, just inside these double doors. I assume, I'm not even going to assume. How do you look? What's on your face as they begin to wake and see you?
Egg.
Yeah, pretty much.
Blood.
Yeah, I am bloody. I'm covered in like dried blood.
You did have the blood armor, which was
Mhm.
interesting as well. Yeah. Victor, as you wake up, you have a slash across your palm.
Sorry, Victor.
I think the short rest took care of it.
D&D.
Five.
Oh.
Five
Yeah, I
eight.
know. You automatically
Yeah.
heal your wounds after 30 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah, I look pretty
fine.
like pissed.
Is that the primary emotion you are feeling now? Is pissed off?
Yeah, like upset.
So you guys all kind of wake up, you know, like who's sitting next to who? Oh yes, like Sylvester, like coming up off of Cam's shoulder. Victor had like arms around
Just
Cutter, like little drool coming on to Cutter's shoulder and stuff. And you guys find yourselves awakening and seeing Dariana standing in front of you, just thunderclouds. You know,
Victor kind of is disheveled, but like realizes like Cutter's right next to him, and he's kind of got a little bit of that ghoul stank, even though I know I'm immune to it. And he kind of jumps kind of up in a way, kind of like planes, trains, and automobiles, like when they found themselves in bed together, and like leaps away and kind of doesn't make eye contact.
Those
with
aren't
Cutter.
pillows.
Yeah, those
Sorry,
aren't
I'm not a
pillows.
horse, Victor.
they said
And
horror.
then he kind of just looks down at his hand and kind of sees the telltale slash, and he can see that Dariana must have been some shit. And what happened, Dariana? Who did you kill?
No one, unfortunately.
But you are wearing blood armor. What happened?
Well, our ally turns out to be a bloody cunt, but also Countess Dowager.
Oh. Did you fight her?
No. She has my book, and she promised it returned to me if I in turn become her slave for 10 years.
Oh, why did she let you go then? I'm very glad to see you, yes.
Because we have a job to do for Lucan. Speaking of which, we should probably talk to him. I would love
Yeah.
to talk to him, actually.
And so Victor kind of reaches down into the bag of holding and pulls out the mirror. Is it a mirror, I think? And
Yeah, it's a
hands
mirror.
it to Dariana.
It is. You guys actually Okay.
I mean, we got to do it at midnight, right? So I don't know if I need it now, but
Would you like to keep it on you, or
are you holding all the like the?
so?
the
Mostly, I
back
just
of all
have
the-
treasure.
Oh, I
at
have
this
it now.
point.
Then.
Yeah, I mostly just have treasure. At this
Okay,
point.
yeah, I'll just take it.
Okay.
You see that, Jason? Did that pop up for you guys or no?
What?
The mirror.
I do not see a mirror. Nothing popped up.
I think because
I don't see any
interesting.
items.
And that's why we haven't called.
Yeah. You want to know why you haven't called?
Wow.
You know who had the mirror?
Beat him?
Feed 'em.
But I thought he had it in. He didn't have it in the bag.
We'll say he had it in the bag. We'll say he had it in the bag.
I mean, that would be
At
interesting.
least that gives us an excuse.
Could we
Although I
pass
don't
the?
think we're that late. Because it was
know.
always supposed
Yeah.
to be weekly. I'd say we're 4 days behind. I'm guesstimating, but
When's the last time you checked in? Have you even checked in while you've been in the underworld at all?
The last time we
Or was
checked
it-
in was right before we got to the underworld. Like, we did not check in at the Kobold area. We had talked about it, but we thought it was too soon. And then
Yeah.
shit got crazy.
The reception's really bad down here.
It's
Not your fault.
exactly. We're going through a tunnel.
Yeah, we are like
But this
under
is
rock.
also yeah. But this is also not the first week that you guys have missed checking in.
yeah.
I think
We're
in the
better- we're-
entire journey you guys have gone in, you've checked in like 3 times.
We're better texters.
Yeah.
Let's say things tailed off after beat him. Dipped.
Yeah. At least in the communication department. So yeah, you have this mirror of messaging, which is given to you by Lucan, which is basically a one-way weekly contact where you can have a conversation with Lucan through it. And clearly, you've missed a couple calls, and he was not happy, and he was not happy enough to reach out through his network and contact the Countess. So that if you did in fact make your way to her, she would be there to offer aid and assistance as best she can.
Yeah, so I'll relay that to them. Her
Did the Countess want us to do anything for her before she takes you from us?
she wants us to finish what we came here for.
Oh, this is very good. Do you have any idea of where we need to go?
We need to find when this ritual is happening, and supposedly under this very building is the entrance to where it will occur.
Trying to, because we kind of knew that it was like 21 or 24 days from the time that we got underground. But I guess we need like a little, like we need specifics now, huh?
Yeah, we'll say the time has been very fluid.
Okay, all right.
At one point I wanted to track it, then I was like, nah, we move too slow for that. Ugh. And plus, I think like 15 sessions has been like 3
Yeah.
days. So
Sylvester, you were always very clever. Do you have any ideas of who might know exactly when this ritual happened?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Drago will know exactly.
Oh, well, let's just go ask him then.
Oh,
Are you able to possess his dreams? I know you.
no, they don't. Derrickle don't sleep.
Very difficult. Understood.
oh, they're so grumpy all the time.
Exactly.
Good cutter.
Explains a lot.
Interesting.
And I'll look over at Dariana too. And being damp here is not so bad. You might find you enjoy it. And if you're only obliged to her and then she's dead, well, then you're obliged to no one. So
Hmm.
I
We'll
like
figure
where
that
your
out.
head's at.
yeah.
So
But actually, if we're still in her building, I don't actually say that.
do we need
Just
to
looking at my surroundings, I'm like, I might say that.
You dropped that in my
But
head.
when we leave, yeah, when we're walking out, I'll say something.
Cutter, would you be able to spy on Blackfly? I know Sylvester was joking, but there's always a nugget of truth to all jokes. Yes.
What do you mean, spy on him?
Well, I
Peek in his
remember
window.
in Seawall, you were able to gather information for us from the gosh, I forgot what she was called. The embalmer. Is this something possible?
I don't know. What do I know of Blackfly's fortress or wherever he is? Is it like
You guys
impenetrable?
all, you guys saw it. And it's number 14.
But I
You guys
mean,
watched
like
it
from my
numerous times.
past, you know,
Yeah.
like
Oh,
or would I never have
um,
any?
I think. I mean, gosh, what do you know of Blackfly in your past? Or do you want?
Mm.
Well, I mean, you know, I was part of a raiding party that was getting flesh for him, so
Right. And how long ago was that? Do you think?
I assume I was probably working for Rodion for a few years at least.
It's been a little while, but you probably were at least in the nether regions of his palace, if anything. Maybe it would bring stuff in through the basement kind of thing, you know?
Okay.
But you guys did see the palace from the outside. It was a Septine style, tall, cylindrical castle-like mausoleum. And there's a balcony that runs all the way around the building, giving views of the city and the Sulphur Sea. And what you saw at the time was that it was heavily, heavily guarded. More guarded than the Emperor's Summer Palace here.
Mm.
Have we met him? Have we run across him? Had an encounter with him?
Blackfly?
Yeah.
Most of you have not, no.
We've seen his sigil like everywhere, like from that castle.
I know we were on his trail. I just didn't know if we'd ever like overlapped. Okay.
You have not impacted that you're aware of. You know, everyone can wear different faces. Many of you have worn many faces. You've never knowingly run across Duke Jogo Blackfly, no.
We knew a man who Dariana asked about the rituals over and over. Would not know.
What time of day is it?
I think our days underground are based on your footsies. I think we were talking about it being like kind of late afternoonish when you were leaving the marquee. I'd say at least an hour has passed before, well, getting to the temple, all the drunken shenanigans outside the temple. Don't forget, you guys all did, in fact, many of you did take damage going up the Temple of Agonizing Bliss's steps because it's covered in spikes and things like that, so that supplicants bleed as they walk across. So if you did take damage, don't forget you can do a hit dice or anything if you would like. When most of you took a short rest.
Yeah, I did that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Just out
I
of
forgot the question
curiosity,
you
how
asked.
how do we know from day and night down here? Is it like an innate Derical thing? You just feel it, or we go by like just the?
Yeah, it's just on the inside. You just know. No. Actually, what you guys have heard every 4 hours,
Oh.
chiming through the city here is a giant gong. And at some point you could have asked someone on the street and they're like, oh yeah, every 4 hours, over at the pyramid temple of Anuakma.
Okay.
But in Vandercool specifically, and in a lot of the underground places, it's not like Minza Baranzan or something where there's just some light thing. The people down here know and have basically lived their life off this gong and stuff like that for a long time. But also like the city itself kind of wakes up, and I mean, that Derical don't really sleep anyway. So like it doesn't really matter. It's kind of more just ebbing and flowing over periods of time. But there is kind of like an ebb and a flow at like the docks and things like that, especially in like the Fleshling quarter.
Yeah.
There's kind of a awakening and a sleeping period. So if
that's what I figured. It was just be like,
you've been in Vandercool, Cam's been in Vandercool. So in the whole underground, generally because there are so many fleshlings, they kind of keep time. And the city itself kind of like has, it never really sleeps, but there's periods where it's a little bit more active and a little bit less active based on the trances and things like that.
Okay.
So you just do, I guess. Yeah, you just know. Yeah. So we'll say you guys are about, if it's late afternoon, I'd say one more gong. As you leave the Temple of Agonizing Bliss, you hear a gong resound through. And I would say one more gong will put you probably around like 8 o'clock. The second will put you around like quote unquote midnight. So we'll say, however long you guys are exploring and doing things in there. And you do have some heat. You have some heat.
We do.
To explain again really quick how this last city is going. Pretty well so far, but how we are navigating the city is through what I called a Whispers, Rumors, and Secrets kind of extended roleplay skill challenge. So there's 10 districts across Vandercool. I'm not going to name them all. But each time the party enters a new district, at some point in that district, they have to make a skill check, either at an important location or just through like a situation they find themselves in. There's no restrictions on what they can do. It's just 2 party members can't do checks back to back. A failure results in a roll on an encounter table and an increase in the party's heat bar, exactly like Grand Theft Auto. Basically, this is just an indication of how marked their presence has become in the city. If guards have noticed them a couple of times, that they've made a ruckus or any of those kind of situations. And some guards, different guards across the city have noticed you, but you feel like at this point, they haven't let's say they haven't really talked about it. Like these guards over here know you guys are like fucking around on one of the barges. These guards over here know that you were like floating up in the sky, levitating, as giant bats were kind of patrolling the city and saw you. But no one so far in the Harvester Legions has put 2 and 2 together that it's the same people that are potentially newish to the city that have caused a couple of different scenes. But you're getting close to a little bit more recognition with what you're doing. If that bar becomes full, it basically means that you are actively on the run from the authorities actively hunting you down within the city. If you guys have a success on that skill check, you get to roll for a whisper or a rumor, something that can help you within the city, something that gives you a little bit of information. A failure results in some type of encounter. It doesn't necessarily mean combat, but a lot of these encounters will draw attention to you. There are special places in the city, many of these numbered locations and some areas that aren't numbered that you guys have found that you'll get more crucial information from, and you'll actually get to roll on a secrets table. You guys have had actually a number of secrets revealed at this point. And those secrets, whispers, and rumors will continue to kind of zero in on this information you're looking for across the city, or direct you towards different figures within the city that could give you information. Some of the whispers, rumors, and secrets that you guys have found are, let's see. You found out that Radomir Mariblight yearns to create a kingdom of hunger by transforming the Ghoul Imperium into a theocracy led by the priests of Vardasane. I believe you got that from, was that from the Marquis? Or is that from the Necrophage?
That was from the Marquis.
You also found out that Smiling Margaret, who you know the Marquis de Moss does not like because he used to lead the Harvester Legion. Smiling Margaret is the Wizard General of the Harvester Legion, and she has allied herself with the Duke Blackfly and Radomir Mariblight, placing the Duke's orders above the Emperor's. They can only guess at what kind of rewards she will receive if the Duke does become the Emperor. So the Legion that basically kind of most patrols the Legion basically stationed in Bandicool that keeps the peace and power, is underneath Smiling Margaret, who is allied with these two conspirators. And those are the deep secrets you've learned so far. And the couple of rumors you learned was about Rodhart's remedies, which you found a deep secret at, and about the the Marquess Grey Suture, who used to be Narasane's companion, but was then Duke Blackfly's consort before he cast her aside for the Baroness Annika Graveskin. And that she has an ostentatious pleasure barge that you guys chose not to encounter. So that is kind of the situation we're in. So you are currently in the Temple District, which, as you know, is the Temple of Agonizing Bliss here. You were told that this building here is the Bone Cathedral, and that is where the ritual is going to be taking place. And you've been pointed numerous times to this giant structure over here, the Pyramid Temple of Anu Akma, Anu Akma being the current, or the primary religion of the Imperium.
Hey, Ryan, we're still on the
looking at
the temple map.
Yeah.
Damn it. There you go. You are here.
Yeah, there we go.
And so we know where
Bone
the Bone Cathedral is.
Yeah, she said it's not far away. You'll and kind of pointed towards the direction. You know, the Bone Cathedral is where the ritual is going to be taking place. That's one thing you just learned from Dallingen. You also know the Gong is on top of this giant pyramid temple, and this whole area here is the area dedicated to Anu Akma, the primary god of the Imperium. There are many.
So, Corin, I've never been down here before, but do you think it would be useful to go to Temple of Anu Akma, perhaps ask around? They also may be interested in this dark ritual and stopping it. Perhaps they might have knowledge of timing.
I think that's advisable. The priests and priestesses of Anu Akma, when they hear that Vardasane intends to turn the entire Imperium into a theocracy to the heretical god of hunger, they'll do whatever they can to help us.
I do not think my prayers will help us here. Are you a follower of Anu Akma?
I'm not much a follower of anything, but
Okay.
Anu Akma it's an important part of every ghoul's life. We can, as we go, we can perhaps surveil the Bone Cathedral. I don't think walking up to it would be advisable, but
Yeah, terrible idea.
perhaps
Yeah.
we can learn some information from the outside.
Kind of pass at distance, look look down alleyways on the way to Pyramid, yes?
I don't know if Cutter can sneak past the entire Harvester Legion, but he can probably get close enough to the Bone Cathedral to learn something.
And Dariana, did there was something you had mentioned about your friend Dalingen. Was she was going to help us? Yes.
I don't know, I don't care. Yeah, something like that.
She sounds really fun, by the way.
Yeah. Regular. Yeah, I don't know, okay. Don't just give a shit.
All right. Do we want to do that then?
Yeah, it seems like we could maybe do like we're not, because we're not going to get close to the Bone Cathedral, but we're gonna try
Do
to
a little,
see
do
like
a
what's
little
going
recon.
on. Yeah. Just cut her up front.
Why
Also,
wouldn't
have
I?
we
God.
secured ourselves lodging at all, or I don't think we have.
Well, so do we need to get lodging, or can we just sleep in our boat?
Oh, we have a boat. Yeah. Fair.
I
Yeah.
think that'd be the safest.
Yeah.
And now we've got those passes.
Perfect.
Okay.
You do indeed have passes that now say that you are just regular citizens of the city of Vandercool. You got those from the Marquis when you were honest about your plans, and he agreed to help you as much as he can. And the help that he said that he could offer you is that if given a signal, he will keep the Harvester Legion from reinforcing the ritual location.
Nice.
So what you will run into should be all that you run into, and he can keep the rest at bay, at least giving you time to stop,
Okay.
hopefully, the ritual. Where are you going? What are you doing?
Really quick on the map, where is it that it's supposed to take place? Again, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Bone
That's
Cathedral
17.
is number 17. So it's not too far from the Temple of Agonizing Bliss
Oh.
and on the way to the Pyramid Temple of Anahuac.
So I think we're going to head down towards the temple, but go by the Bone Cathedral, but keeping a safe distance.
A wide berth.
Yeah. But close enough that we can at least, see the thing and see if it's packed with guards.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So as you guys exit the Temple of Agonizing Bliss, you make your way down the spiked and bladed stairs once again. This time not levitating down them. Your intoxication has worn off at this point, Sylvester.
He's gonna drink
And
some more.
well, in that case, so you head through the temple district. You also you find you find that it seems not crowded at all. And actually, the closer you get to the Bone Cathedral, the less people you see. And as you turn a corner, you see this ominous building of gray stone, adorned with macabre carvings of grinning skulls and bones of all different shapes and sizes. A bas relief of a huge segmented worm runs around the walls of the structure, culminating in a carved mouth full of sharp teeth around the cathedral entrance. A set of stone steps leads up inside to the giant maw. It looks like this from the outside.
Oh. Like you have
Nice.
to walk into them. That's cool.
Yeah, and again, around the whole outside of the structure is a bas relief of a worm, a segmented worm, and the mouth comes right out the front, and you walk up into it.
A little on the nose, but sorry.
Oh yeah. They definitely don't
It's not
pretend
subtle,
to not
yeah.
be fucking dead as fuck down here. And what you see is a structure, and what you know of it is that it is a temple of Artisane, rivaled only by the shrine of the hunger god in the White City, the capital itself. Why don't you you guys haven't rolled. We won't make this that roll. Why
I
doesn't
figured
somebody
we'd
roll me
at the
a
temple, the Anoakma?
Why
Yeah.
yeah, why doesn't someone
Sorry.
roll me a perception check though?
Oh, gladly.
And we'll say actually, or even a history check. Either. Well, yeah. Well, there's no point rolling if you're gonna roll. So yeah, go ahead, roll that. Give me that 27.
Yeah, baby.
Let's see.
You haven't rolled perception like in 2022.
So I always make him roll investigation.
I know. He does.
20.
Um,
Oh, that's bad.
you notice and then recall, and Cam, you or Corin, you notice this as well. The many of the skulls and bones that decorate the building aren't carvings, but they're actual bones on the outside structure here.
That's
You
cool.
both also notice a heavy guard presence around the temple itself, not necessarily out of place. It's not like it's ringed by it, but in places where there might be, one or two guards, there's 4 or 5 guards. But with that perception, Cutter, you also notice hanging on the ceiling above the temple are a number of giant bats with ghouls on them. You also notice in a lot of the structures and buildings around the cathedral, because there's this open area kind of around the Bone Cathedral, kind of like a big square, like you find like outside of like the basilica or something like that. A lot of the structures in this area that seems a little bit less crowded, you see figures in windows, not residents.
Like watching us?
Like watching the cathedral a little bit. You get this kind of like in all those spy movies where they think someone's going to assassinate the guy doing the speech, so they send all the people into windows where they could be doing sniper stuff. It's kind of like that. So you see ghouls kind of like spread out throughout the area around the cathedral as well, and this apparently increased guard presence, like just not quite enough to really draw way too much attention to the Bone Cathedral, but clearly an upping of the guards all around the Bone Cathedral.
And you said these figures in windows and buildings sort of in the courtyard or beyond the courtyard, right? And they're just looking outward toward this Bone Cathedral.
When you see them, yeah, like okay. As they like appear out and things like that, it seems like a lot of the structures around also, because you rolled a 20, also have guards in them. And they are kind of stationed around like areas where, like a larger street corner is, like, so they can basically see farther and see the cathedral too.
So basically,
so
like JFK
whatever
is going to roll around the corner, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So whatever it looks like the guard presence is directly around the cathedral, it's probably more like double that in the area surrounding it.
Got it.
So you realize as you kind of go through, without making like a thing, you realize as you're walking through at the edge of this courtyard, you guys are the only ones around. And you notice these figures, these glowing
Do-
red eyes, or
Do the
a little bit of
guards,
movement.
since if we're the only ones walking around, do they like pay any special attention to us or keep their eyes on us, or are they just kind of?
It depends on how close you guys felt like you were going to go to the Bone Cathedral. If the whole outside area was this kind of like open squarish, are you more towards the cathedral or more kind of towards like the residentially kind of like buildings around the edges?
I think we would have stayed as far away from it as
Yeah,
possible.
it's possible.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can't
I-
walk
yeah.
by Earth.
And we look like we're headed towards Anu-Akma's pyramid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
And
gonna-
you're dressed fine for the most part. A
Yeah.
little bit bloody, one of you.
Oh yeah, we're still wearing our finery. That's right. I'm gonna relay this to everybody about the guard bats on the rooftops, the ghouls in the windows, and
A little nudge, a little nods, and stuff like that.
yeah.
You don't really. I would say that there's some guards around the cathedral that do like the same thing, kind of like a little nudge, a little nod, and then other people just like take note of your presence. But there's no one that just like stares you down the whole way. It's they're just aware of any figures that kind of like cross through the courtyard. But as you casually, because you're not like doing this to try to find people, you're able to just kind of like glance and see all these things.
Right.
You don't look conspicuous. So it seems as if they take note of your presence, and then that's about it.
Makes me wonder what's going on inside.
Nothing yet.
Could be soon though, yes?
Could we what?
The ritual could be soon.
It could be. They're obviously keeping tabs. But we're not entering this way, so
True,
the
true.
more the merrier out here as far as I'm concerned. Keep walking.
Yeah,
Act
I
casual.
think we just keep heading down. I think particularly once we have an idea of the situation, we'd probably, maybe move back behind the other side of maybe some of the
Yeah,
residential buildings.
because it looks like you can cut through the muse.
Yeah, it's not. So you guys basically came around here and just kind of crossed through this section here, and then just were past the Bone Cathedral. It's not. It's not. It's not the biggest structure. I would say the Temple of Agonizing Bliss is probably even bigger than the Bone Cathedral. So you basically just like walk through this large courtyard, and then you're out the other side, and you're continuing on. So as you continue, you head towards this area, which you know to be the Pyramid Temple of Anu-Akma. As you move closer to it, you realize that it's almost a whole like small district unto itself. You see, as you approach, a 100-foot tall pyramid standing in the center of a necropolis, holding dozens of small tombs, obelisks, and morbid statuary. A flight of steep steps leads to the top of the pyramid, where the gong is sounded every 4 hours by a red-robed Darukul priest to mark time in the Sunless City.
Are there
So what do you want to do?
people about, or is it about as empty as it was around the Bone Cathedral?
There's a little bit more. There's a little bit more around. Again, this is like a necropolis in here with the pyramid, more so than like a residential area or anything like that.
So as we get closer, Victor kind of he remembers that we had a thing that I don't think we've used called the Dust of the Dead, which was from Seawall, but like where there was like Anu-Akma's kind of stuff, and he kind of reaches into the bag and kind of looks at Sylvester and looks at the Darukul and looks down and says, I am not very good with words like you are, but perhaps we could bring this as some sort of gift offering to priests of Anu-Akma to show our good intentions, similar to a picture you draw, Sylvester. Since I do not think our bracelet will help us get into this place. and then it looks kind of like it's in the. I think we probably all have it in our items. It looks like a little the little dog kind of jackal head on a little thing, and it's got dust that makes people seem like they're dead, but we're all using the book anyways, right? For the toe ritual.
Right.
So I don't think we
Yeah.
really need this stuff. Maybe it'll be meaningful to these guys since it is from one of their old temples in Seawall.
Yeah. Well, so again, Anuakma and the gods and the worship and everything like that, different gods worship people differently.
Yeah.
So in Seawall, they're not, it's not the Ghoul Imperium. So same god, a little bit different, but I like where your head's at. So yeah, whatever you guys want to do with that. I did throw it up there, Jason.
Cool.
There you go.
Does this seems better than showing up to nothing than rumors?
It's always good to never show up to a party empty-handed.
You guys were looking for like a fat slave to buy for
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the meat market.
Okay. And have you been here before, Cameron? Like, when did you used to work in Vandercool?
I didn't work in Vandercool, but I was certainly here on
Okay.
many occasions. Orin's not a particularly pious ghoul. He's a bit of a
Okay.
busy guy, but
Okay.
he believes, as much as your average ghoul, that of course Anuakma exists and is the god of the dead.
Okay.
Probably wasn't a regular attendant though.
Really quick.
Like a Cassini.
What are we trying to achieve here?
To get the time, like if they might have an idea of the time. I mean, they're located pretty close to the place. Maybe they would know, like, if you were going to do a ritual, like this would be the time and the place. Like for
Or just
anything.
if they're aware of preparations that might go unnoticed to someone outside of religious circles.
I'm
And
assuming.
I'm
Oh.
sure they're aware that Vardazane, it's seen as a splinter sect or heretical sort of.
So we're going to
Belief.
want.
Yeah, because it seems like if Dollingen knew, she would have told us. Like, because it seems like she has a vested interest with King Luke. And
So just to clarify a little bit, I don't know. So like opinion-wise, Vardasane could totally be heretical, but like fact-wise within the Imperium, it's not necessarily heretical. It's just not the primary religion. So it's kind of like
Okay. Gotcha.
it's kind of like let's say Catholics and
Careful.
and
Careful.
evangelists, you know. So we'll say the Mayan people are like Catholics, and these guys are like the the evangelists that are really just out there doing the thing that they do recently. But they're not seen as like, I mean, by the most people, they're not seen as heretical.
Okay.
Again, all opinion. Same thing with Vardasane and Anuakma. So smaller religion, still often worshipped, but is not like the overarching, like primary state-sponsored whatever religion of the Imperium.
okay.
Gotcha. Well, nonetheless, I think they'd still be motivated by the idea that they're trying to turn it into a Vardasane theocracy, which would probably push Anuakma out of the picture.
Okay.
Concur. I agree.
Do you think you could talk us into there, Sylvester? To your golden tongue?
I can try.
Who rolled last
I
time?
rolled perception.
No, I mean in the
Oh.
last area.
Was it? It wasn't the restaurant.
It
was
was-
it?
Yeah, it was.
It
That
was
was
the
me.
restaurant.
Just
It
listening
was
in.
Cutter. It was Cutter. For
It was you?
listening.
Okay.
That was
Yeah.
my investigation roll.
So maybe we could have Sly do like something charisma based, right, to get us into here.
It's up to you
Yeah,
guys.
I think we just want to go up there and just seek an audience with.
Oh.
Yeah, we need somebody high
Priest.
though. We don't want just some random acolyte.
So you guys kind of entering into this necropolis, heading towards the temple?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you do, as you kind of walk down this path towards this, you actually see movement in the necropolis around you through all of these like small tombs and obelisks. You see spectral shapes, these incorporeal figures, kind of flitting around, like walking briefly and then disappearing. Some a little bit more corporeal, some a little bit less, some seeming to note your presence, some not. But they seem to kind of just be drifting through this.
This seem familiar?
If you've been here before, it does. This isn't out of the ordinary. This makes sense for where you're at.
Necropolis. It
is indeed necropolis. This is like the second necropolis you guys have been in recently. So this is actually incredibly reminiscent of Seawall. The whole vibe, pyramid, but also the necropolis and everything. You definitely get that same kind of feel. And as you head towards the entrance of this temple, you see that it is these large doors that are flanked by two 20-foot tall statues, each depicting a different version of Anu Akma. One is a hooded human with an obscured face, dressed in long robes and holding a golden scythe. The other is jackal-headed and holds a golden ankh. So again, you get a little bit more of that Seawall vibe. And the people here seem to at least revere kind of multiple visages or versions of Anu Akma.
Having been in a very similar place before, would I know like a proper greeting? Like, it wouldn't be Hail Anu Akma, but something along the, lines of
Akma's a cool dude.
We know
What's
it's
the
not
peace be
Wu
with you
Akma.
of the underworld?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, some symbol of some sort.
You were in Seawall. I think you specifically had a really good time with some of the people there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think you have spent enough time in areas that really worship Anu Akma to necessarily know that. And actually, as you approach the temple doors, you suddenly see these manifestations appear. These spectral guardians, almost, flanking either side of this large door. They look at all of you, seeming to take in your appearance, and then kind of bow towards you and gesture towards the door and then dissipate.
Nice.
That's an invitation.
Yeah.
Or, or a trap. But I'm taking it as an invitation. So
Make sure we hit all the traps, though. We're
Yeah.
gonna do it. Go ahead.
anyway, what else are you gonna do?
You've done it
Yeah.
most of the time.
Yeah. So we're gonna walk to the doors. Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
All right.
And the doors are standing open. There's large open temple doors with these guardians now gone and these statues kind of flanking it. And again, leading up next to it is these stairs. They go all the way up to the top. And if you got close enough, you saw that giant gong sitting on top. Very like Pink Floyd and Pompeii kind of thing. So as you enter, you see that the temple inside is lit with blue flames burning from dozens of brass tubes. What can I?
Is that supposed to mean something to us, though?
It's lit.
Yeah, looks cool, man.
All right.
Oh no, let's do this one. Yeah. No, I'll save that one. Switch it up a little bit. No reason for the music switch up.
Never is.
So the red stone marble. Here we go. Yeah, this is Anuakma. There we go.
There we
Switch it
go.
back. You guys listen to this for like 4
Yeah.
weeks.
Weeks.
The red stained white marble altar at the end of this blue lit room has 4 Darikul priests in red robes standing in front of it, and one seemingly more ornate figure there as well.
Does bowing feel like the right thing to do?
Does it feel like the right thing to do?
Yeah.
Does
Well,
he look
not,
pretty
not, I'm-
does he look pretty priestly?
He looks very like he looks very high priestly. You know?
So he's like a 5th guy. There's 4 normal priests and the 5th guy.
There's 4 normal dudes
Okay.
and 1 more ornate dude.
I think a bow feels right here.
Yeah, I don't do a full like waist
Yeah.
bow, but more of like a head.
Yeah.
Like,
Gotcha. Are now you
Victor
guys
Speaks
walking?
Korean,
It's a decent sized temple, so it's a
Yeah.
long kind of way up to this, kind of altar behind them, as they're all kind of positioned around. There are some supplicants within, doing what supplicants do, supplicating, and
Gross.
and yeah, as you get closer, you see this figure. Gosh, they in the text here it says the lugubrious high priest.
Lugubrious.
Lugubrious.
Look
That's
Yeah.
a great.
That's a good word. It's a
they're
great
digging
word.
up
So I
the
looked it
stars
up.
for that one.
It's a $10
Yeah,
word for
I-
sure.
Yeah, I looked it up and it's great. I love it. I'll use it in the future. Lugubrious, mournful, dismal, or gloomy, especially to an exaggerated or ludicrous degree.
Yeah, baby.
That doesn't
That's
even
awesome.
seem like what
Yeah.
it should mean.
Mournful, indicating sorrow, often ridiculously or feignedly. Doleful, woeful, pitiable. So basically, his face just looks like almost like this kind of mournful, whatever. To such an exaggerated degree, it's almost cartoonish. It's like he's like if Eeyore was the flesh-eating Darikul high priest of Anuakma,
That's kind of how Dariana looks right now.
I'm sort of looking around for his
They're
tail.
bonding.
Why don't you turn that frown upside down?
Little
I
emo.
cast disintegrate.
like off of his face.
That's the end of.
I dodge
that
it.
kid's perfect face.
I can dodge anything.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can just dodge a disintegration.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There you go. So as you all approach and bow, they all take note of your presence. The high priest, kind of standing in front of the altar. Again, they're not really like leading any service or anything. They're all the other 4 priests. They're not just like standing in a row or anything. Like there's 2 on one side, 2 on the other. They're kind of like dealing with the supplicants or answering a conversation, things like that, kind of moving around, but kind of generally being like at the front. And then there's the high priest at the front, sometime like intonating what sounds like prayers and Darikul and whatnot, versus some of the supplicants, being allowed after they talk to one of the other ones to come up and kind of address him, maybe like kiss a ring or something, and then maybe get like a scrap of flesh. It's got like one of those little like doggy bags we give out like treats. to people, and that's what you enter into in this kind of like blue lit room with this red stained white marble floor. Walking towards him, what are you all doing? As this like group of people enter into the temple.
Walking.
Oh,
towards him.
as you walk toward him, that's where we'll take our break for right now.
Hmm.
Right.
We'll be back in just a second.
And I pull my sword. No.
Hello and welcome back to the Dark Kingdoms here on the Adventure Archive. The party is still exploring the city of Ennicles, trying now to nail down the exact time of this ritual that is coming up, since they already know the location and have actually scouted it out. The Bone Cathedral, the Temple of Vardasane within the city of Ennicles, to stop this ritual that could alter the world as they know it, especially down here in the Imperium. You have gone into the Temple of Anu Akma. There is blue light in brass tubes across a red stained white marble floor. There are 4 priests kind of working around some supplicants and a high priest at the very front. And what are you doing?
So approaching the head priest.
So I think I would know. Is there like a version of like Assalamu alaikum that people say in the underground in religious contexts?
Not that I am aware of, but nothing that doesn't. I mean, nothing that says you can't make something up if it sounds good.
Oh no, I just didn't want to look out of place if we don't say the thing.
Gotcha.
Oh, I say the thing. No.
What do you say?
In
No, no.
Undercommon though.
Yeah, no, I just approach and kind of give a reverent bow. And if he doesn't say anything right away, then
Well, as you try to approach the high priest, before you really get within, 10, 15 feet, one of the lower priests kind of like casually intercedes and is like, hello. Dead
Hello.
people. What can we do for you here in the Temple of Anu Akma?
we seek an audience. And do I know what he's called? Is he called the high priest or whatever his title may be?
So first and
Probably.
foremost, are you able to understand Derical right now?
That's valid.
Is it? I mean, since we've done this a few times now, is it? I will gladly burn a spell slot. As I give him the jackal-headed jar, I could just put my hand on his shoulder and give him tongues.
Gotcha. How long does that last?
It lasts for 1 hour.
Oh yeah, so it would have been gone if you had
Yeah,
already
it's
cast it that
definitely
day.
gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is it just for one person or does it work for everybody?
It's for one person, so it's you touch the person, you grant the
Gotcha.
creature you touch with the ability. Yeah.
Yeah, so but you also need it too, don't you? Or are you just gonna
No,
fake it?
I don't, because where Victor came from when he was with
That's right.
the gnomes, like they spoke up.
Yeah.
They had met Duracle.
Yeah, they spoke something enough. Yeah. So as the priest intercedes, it's just going like blah 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 blah. It's like Charlie Brown's teacher. And then when Victor, comes up next to you and kind of does this like bow thing, kind of gives you a little nudge, and suddenly it forms into words that you understand, and basically says, how can we help you? And then Victor, you're presenting this Dust of the Dead, kind of like jackal-headed jar situation.
Well, I mean, the idea was that the sugar-toothed golden boy would present it, but I was kind of just holding it for him.
Oh, so you're just like holding it out to so
Yeah.
as Victor comes up next to you, he kind of like, is offering you this thing from behind, kind of the jackal-headed jar. And as you reach your fingers,
Hey-o.
your fingers graze a little bit over his as you pull the jar away. And
I linger just for
yeah,
a second.
yeah. and you
Little middle.
You
It's
feel
not
this-
as intimate as the toes.
One of those
but
kind
yeah,
of like. What
it'll
is it?
do.
Like one of those kind of like.
and you
a little.
you feel this interesting sensation come over you as your fingers touch, and suddenly you understand Dervil a little bit better than you did before.
Look. Smidge.
And the love that
But
knows
yeah.
no name.
All right. So now you have this kind of jackal-headed jar with this priest in front of you.
I say, and do I are they called like high priest? Do I know? I mean,
This would just be a priest of Anuakma, so just priest.
but no, but I'm saying the title of the are they called high priest or
Yeah. You would assume it's probably just a high priest. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll just say, well, we seek an audience with the high priest, and we come with a gift.
And
And I'll
At
say
first,
just
you know-
slightly loud enough for the high priest. I don't want to. I'm not yelling, but if he's only 10, 15 feet away, I say it loud enough.
yeah,
for
it's
him
not
to
too
hear.
far. Yeah. This guy kind of just like interceded in there with the high priest in the back, with all the lugubrious look that he has.
Word of the day.
When he first interceded, it was, you could tell there was that look on this, Derrickul face. It was just kind of like politely making sure you just kind of do your business and go. But as you kind of hold out, are you handing him this thing or just kind of like holding it? Gotcha.
Shoots in chat. I'm holding it, saying,
Yeah.
I'm not giving it to that guy. So I'm holding it in a way like I'm ready to offer it, but as I say, we seek an audience with the high priest, and it's obvious that's who I want to give this to.
Gotcha. Work. But so he kind of reaches towards it, and you kind of like, and he looks it over, and you can tell the expression on his face changes a little bit, especially seeing, the jackal head and everything, the skulls around it. It's very clearly Anuakman. It's very clearly a little bit more Sawali than it is, ghoulish, but it's intriguing, interesting. And he says, just wait one moment.
Of course.
And he kind of summons over one of the other priests who comes over and just kind of like sides up and is like, just kind of stands in your way. And he walks back towards the high priest and kind of gets close to him, like whispers in his ear a little bit. The high priest kind of looks past the other guy, sees what's in your hand, kind of looks towards the other guy, does a little whisper situation, and then just kind of gives like one of these. And then the priest comes back, not all the way back to you, and then just kind of calls through the temple and just says, temple will be closing for the day. If you would all come back at another time for your worship of Anuakma, thank you. And all the few supplicants that are in there right now kind of get up off the floor or stop doing whatever worship they're doing, and are kind of ushered out by the other priests, who then shut the double doors at the end of this temple, and walk back. Two of them move up to the front besides the high priest, and two stay behind you.
So as he walks up, I will drop a voice in his head and say, what we have to discuss might be sensitive. You trust
This is to the
high
this is
priest.
to the high priest?
Yeah.
Okay.
You trust all these around you.
If I did not, they would not be here, and keep your thoughts out of my mind.
I know. So first thing I'll do is offer him. Say, first of all, I'd like to give you this.
And one of the priests next to him like comes forward, takes it from you, and brings it back to the high priest, and he takes it, and he cracks the lid open, gives it a sniff, you know, the whole thing. Do you know what this is?
Dust of the Dead, is that what it was called?
Yeah.
Yes. Something we picked up along our travels that I thought should be back where it belongs.
Where did you pick this up at?
I believe we picked this up. I'm acting like I don't remember. Like I picked up so many random Ano Akma things. I believe that was in the necropolis in Suwa.
Interesting. They worship the true god Danuakma a little differently. We don't really hold that against them. But this is interesting. What do you want? And he kind of hands it off to like one of the other priests, and they, you know, go off through like a back door, come back a little bit later.
Well, I think our interests might overlap. So hypothetically speaking, if someone were to find out that some people are planning a ritual to grant great power to themselves in the name of Vardasane, when would they plan such a ritual? Is there a time that would give them a better opportunity? Planes aligning in such a way where the powers of a ritual would be stronger for their god?
You are not residents of Vandakul.
Okay.
When did you enter the city?
Not long ago.
Why don't you? He's kind of mulling this.
Can we show our tag?
Appearance. Sure, if you'd like. Yeah.
'Cause I think that tag from the Duke would be helpful.
Yeah, sure. I'm not pulling mine out. I kind of the opinion of I'm confirming nor denying nothing much because as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't matter that much.
Why don't you, after you give him this gift and seem to pique his interest a little bit, why don't you give me your role for the Temple District? Why don't you give me a charisma check to kind of, let's say, build this relationship, win him over a bit more.
Straight charisma or persuasion or deception, or what are you looking?
Whichever charisma skill you think would be most appropriate.
Not intimidation, which is my strongest.
I think it'd be persuasion. You're not lying to him.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not. I'll persuasion him.
Oh, you can. I'll actually. Let's give you advantage on that.
Well,
Don't
You
need
have
it.
to.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you
Nice
can roll it again just in case you
If you crit,
crit
yeah.
that. Yeah.
yeah, let's roll it again because that wasn't that great. There we go.
24. Aha! Got it.
Mm.
So, You answer these questions. Is there anything else you say that kind of wins him over here at the end?
I'm basically just trying to somewhat speak vaguely, but drop enough hints. So I kind of want to. We've come into information that there might be people, powerful people, looking to do a ritual to give themselves more power. And they are followers of Bartizane. And with that power, I've heard rumor that they might even be looking to set that up as the primary religion here.
Yeah, when you first even mentioned Bartizane, his kind of like that lugubriousness of his face, this kind of like just like saggy, sad, exaggeratedness, turns into almost a snarl at the mention of Bartizane and at this. And the other priests as well kind of get like a, like an anger in their eyes when you mention that. It's like, this is in fact well known to us. You speak of Marrow-Blight. Him and his worm sect.
I just nod. I don't say anything, but
I say that you are new to the city because you are unaware of this ritual.
So everyone in the city is aware of this ritual?
Those that matter.
Well, what if I were to say we intend to stop it? Hypothetically speaking, of course.
I would say that, hypothetically, of course, the Church of Anno Akma in Vanderkool would be quite pleased.
So if someone were planning such a ritual, when would be the optimal time for them to do it? Or is there one?
The ritual is to take place tomorrow evening.
Fuck. And I say that out loud, fuck.
Yes, fuck indeed. Radomir plans to win the favor of Bartizane by sacrificing some human noble captured on the surface. Apparently, the man cheated death 10 years ago when Nicephorus and the vampires invaded and took Krakovar.
So
Apparently, Radomir believes that Bartizane requires a price be paid for that failure. Paid in blood.
fair enough. That makes perfect sense.
The Bone Cathedral is where it is to take place at the sound of the 5th gong.
Do you happen to know or have any idea where they might be holding this sacrifice until that time?
If the Church of Anno Akma was aware of the location, we would have stopped the ritual already.
Well, excellent. So we are on the same page. So enough pretense of hypotheticals. If we go in to stop the ritual, the area seems well guarded right now. We might have a way in other than on the surface, but it'd be nice if there was some sort of distraction to draw any guards to the outside. Do you think you could perhaps help with something like that?
We in recent months, if you know what you seem to know, and I don't want to know how you know what you know. Radomir seems to have allied with Duke Drago Blackfly, the current, let's say, in all intents and purposes, ruler of this city, with his little pit bull smiling Margaret controlling the Harvester Legions. Anu Akma may be the primary religion of our kind, but here in this city, Blackfly's word has become law. There is not too much we can do. Between him and Marrowblight, he has been weakening our church for some time. Isophoros has been contacted and has yet to make a move.
Why do you
Roll me a
think that is?
d6. Roll me a d6 real quick.
Six.
Ooh.
Deep as we're gonna get.
Interesting. Not sure why Nisophoros has not shown up, but he has not ruled the Empire for as long as he has by not paying attention. I can only assume and hope that there are machinations at work beyond our understanding. When the Ghoul armies next march, Radomir has prophesied that the demon worm Regala, herald of Vardasane, will come forth from Evermar to proclaim the new kingdom of hunger, devouring all living things that stand in its way. It's foolish nonsense, of course.
Of course.
Man is an idiot and at best a heretic. But some believe, and belief is dangerous. At least belief in the wrong thing. That's your deep secret.
Damn.
What was the worm's name? One more time.
Regala?
You said he was a demon lord?
Worm.
The demon worm Regala, the herald of Vardasane. It's kind of like the
Silent
Cthulhu
Age.
of Vardasane.
Okay.
Yeah. Not Vardasane themselves, but the powerful
The
herald.
Avatar.
Yeah.
Stay Puft
Not
Marshmallow.
Avatar. Yeah. What's
It's
that?
the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, right?
Kind of. Yeah. Regala would precede Vardasane.
Exactly.
So, your servitude to the church would not be unnoticed or unrewarded should you stop this. And I will not ask your names in case you don't.
Fair enough. We might, if we pull this off, ask for some help for one of my friends in the bargain she's made here. But in the meantime, I didn't catch an answer to whether you could help with the distraction.
We will do what we can. But without support from the main church, O Nisophoros. We cannot risk
I'm
our
not saying a
demise.
full attack or anything, just something to potentially draw
We
guards
will
out.
do what we can. And if you should pull this off, I would hope that you would all come back for our first meeting. Since you were not here today.
Precisely.
We appreciate your offering to the Church of Anuakma.
I'm getting that he's done with our conversation.
Yeah, we probably need to get out of here like quietly too. So
Yeah. Okay.
Behind you, those two priests that have been stationed there, you hear the doors open at the back of the temple, at the front of the temple.
Head out. Oh, is he
We have to
muted
go
again?
home, but we can't stay here. All right, I'll head out.
Yes. Supplicants of Anuakma are always welcome in the church. And rings out as you all head out. When the doors open, some supplicants kind of start making their way back in.
And is this one of those things where like now that we've been into the pink area, we can kind of go pink, orange, like
You
aqua,
can
and then
go in the
home?
pink whenever you want.
Oh, the temple district
He likes to offer from behind. Or so I've heard.
is the hands touching hands. That's what started it off.
I wonder if we want to perhaps take another path back.
That's what I'm saying. Like to avoid going there.
I
Are
think
you saying
we
like
want
just
to
go totally
avoid the
new way?
cathedral. If we know they intend to perform this ritual tomorrow, there's only going to be more and more of
Yeah.
Marrow Blights and Blackfly's guards looking for maybe people like us trying to prevent their plans.
And we can probably smell that butchery, right? So we can kind of head south of it. Like where the meat.
Yeah,
is
well, it's
market.
however you guys
could-
would like to go.
we could-
There is a there's a district here.
Because we just need
here.
we just need to get through that one district and we can...
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah,
really
and
seem like there's
Like
a
the
way
residential
to get.
district's probably pretty safe.
Is this a place where you can roll Cam to see if you
I don't
know what's going on?
You don't need to. You're aware that this is most of the average citizens of.
Shigawa.
Actually, so that's a thought. So,
Maybe it's a place to sleep.
yeah, I was gonna say. So I know we talked about staying on the boat, but if anyone's onto us, that's where they're gonna
Yeah.
be waiting for us.
Yeah.
Would I know somewhere like potentially in the residential district that we could find lodging?
Residential district is mostly. I mean, it's
Residences?
It's residences. So unless
Grandma
there's like
flesh
a
friends?
like a
It's
A
too bad your
ghoul-
backstory wasn't mom lives here.
yeah, a ghoul B&B or something. You're most like it really depends. So you know that area 10 is the artisans district, but this red district over here is the fleshling district, or the fleshling quarter, and that's where there is lodging. There's a lot of like businesses in there. It's primarily living people and things like that. Again, the other part about lodging per se is Derakul don't
Right.
sleep. They train for short periods of time and don't really need let's say, bedrooms, for example,
Mhm.
outside of just personal storage and things like that. So there's not really a lot of like inns or need for them, really. More so than just, I mean, it's almost more like storage units and stuff like that. Like if people come into the city for short periods of time, especially off docks and things, they just need a place to put their stuff, not necessarily a place to put themselves as much as you would think. But in the Flushing Quarter, there are those kind of places. So if you actually would like to have a place to sleep relatively safely, that would be where those kind of places would be. You also know that living beings outside of the Flesh Quarter, depending on what part of the city they go into, are often given a ghoul escort, kind of based on, generally you guys have your necklaces from the marquee that marks you off, but you still have the ones that you were given at the docks as well.
Yeah.
It has like the short term kind of like marks you out as not residents.
Like we're like merchants or something.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had a quick work phone call. We're trying to determine where we're going to sleep, or
Yeah,
I think that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, because
okay.
we're nearing the end of the day, right? Because you said it was late
Yeah.
afternoon when we were.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
probably
by the time
getting
you
close to
guys-
5 bells now.
So the boats.
You're getting towards the
Someone
fifth
wanna
bell
do?
there.
Well, I guess my only thought about the boat was if anyone is onto us, they probably know. I mean, they could put it together that we're the ones that. Yeah, it's Skin Trader's a well-known boat. It's probably got around that it's got a new captain. Just a thought.
We do have some heat on us.
Mild
You
heat.
do in fact have a little bit of heat.
Yeah,
Trying to lower the heat.
we got some bat
Fly.
wings.
I can check with Danny too to see if there's been any
It's a good point.
suspicious activity around the boat.
Yeah, anyone sniffing around?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you check in with Annie, you
Yeah.
basically just get a vision of two ghouls being like just fucking
Ghoul or Rochambeau.
dicking around on the boat, basically.
So I'll ask her if she knows any extra activity or eyes on the boat.
And do they know that we made all that money with the? Because we
Just
took all
come
the
and
skins
picked
out.
up and we tossed them some gold for it.
Yeah, they're pretty stoked. Okay.
Yeah, they're aware that gold is fucking long gone.
Yeah.
You didn't notice
coal ain't
you
cheap.
didn't know last time you checked in, that they were like one at a time, like leaving the boat to go spend their
Yeah.
coin and stuff. It
Mhm.
comes, it goes,
Cool.
cool
So
whorehouses.
I mean,
or whatever.
maybe it's like the least weird if we just go back there and spend,
Sure.
give those guys some coin just to keep them doing their dumb stuff. And
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what you guys want to
Do our
do. I mean, you
routine.
do know that with the dock, and you guys parked on it, there's only like the Sulphur Sea in the dock. Why don't you roll me a perception check with Annie?
Perception is wisdom, correct?
Mhm.
yeah,
Okay.
And you know what? But you guys are heading one way or another that direction, right?
yeah.
So as you're going through the residential district here,
Yeah.
I don't think we've moved your guy here for a while. We'll say that you kind of
Oh.
stop.
Annie critted her perception. but-
Yeah.
Hey,
Annie, are
We'll
you
say that
okay?
you kind of stop to check in on that as you have this conversation. And again, like there's not a big guard presence in this area. You're making your way, kind of decide what direction you want to go, and when Annie kind of checks in, she has noticed maybe an extra couple guards at the dock.
Hmm.
She also notices that no boats are leaving, and no boats have come in all day.
Oh yeah, we can't go back.
It doesn't mean we can't go back, but something's up for sure. And that's our way out. And we may want to know why no boats are coming or going.
Blackfly could have closed the port, closed the dock.
Or something, but that's our way out.
'Cause
need
we
to know.
were seen by those, like when you were levitating, like we were
Right.
seen by those
Okay,
whatever. was
that'll
the
put
line
heat
called.
on us, but that doesn't explain why nobody's coming or going.
I mean, he's about to
Invade,
basically
yeah.
do a treason and start his
Right.
campaign to overthrow the emperor. So he's
Right.
probably a little paranoid.
But that's our escape route. So we need to know why
I mean,
no boats are coming or going.
the phantoms out there. I don't know if we're gonna do much of an escape.
Interesting.
Yeah, we'll probably have to
We
deal
need-
with the
we need
countess.
more info.
anyways. Yeah.
Or a mini district.
We need more info.
I mean, so if we comings and goings, so people who are going to be comings and goings, merchants potentially, if they're alive, we're going to find them in the Fleshling district. Is
So-
that
Yeah.
would I know that? Like people who are visiting the city, if they're not ghouls.
Or
Yeah,
there may-
that's
yeah.
yeah. So you guys know, and they explained it at the dock, that the Fleshing Quarter is where pretty much everything that living goes and is relatively well protected. There's guards at the entrance. You generally, those that are living, who appear living, are given escorts based on their status to an extent to walk around so they're not snatched up and eaten. And then they're kind of like tucked back into the walls of the Flesh Quarter when they're not out and about doing their business. So that is where you'll find most of the living merchants and the inns and all of those kind of things in the Fleshing Quarter.
We might be able to find information there of what's going on at the dock.
True.
Yeah, and we
Why
can also
there's-
like
why there's no movement.
kind of thinking about like an airport, like where all the flights were canceled. Like those people probably are sitting around pissed off, and like maybe we can
Yeah.
overhear like rumors.
If they're being restricted from leaving.
yeah, from
Right,
leaving.
right. Okay, fair enough. I buy that logic.
And I guess the question for the Daracool though is like, does it make sense as we get closer to the Fleshling district for like the three of us that aren't Daracool to revert to our form, and then you guys like be our escorts back? Like is it weirder to have 5 Daracool that are really nicely dressed
That's a good question.
go in there, or is maybe we need to go in, we're like kind of like we're, you know, I'm a human and
Yeah.
you guys have been escorting me and we've got our bracelets and stuff. Like, would you know how to do that to escort us back in?
I don't know. I probably
Well,
fake it.
the
but
way
I'm
we're
sure
dressed-
I'm sure I have seen Fleshlings be escorted
And,
before. I'm
Yeah.
sure I
and the
can
way
figure
we're
out that part.
dressed, we're obviously moneyed. We can go back to our semi-human form. You two stay Daracool. We pull out our guest passes. You leave your
Yeah.
passes on that we got that say you're citizens,
Yeah,
and you're
I
our
like that
hired
idea.
guards,
I like that idea.
right?
Cutter?
Yeah. I'd probably want to not be fancy dressed up then. Oh, okay, yeah. So
Yeah, like
Yeah,
I think
I know.
we could
We
put
don't
our
need
clothes
to-
in.
Yeah,
we
we
could
don't
put
need to
our
wear
fancy
these.
clothes.
yeah, no,
in
I'm like
bag of
specific. Like
holding.
if you know
I'm keeping these
if
clothes on.
if Cutter and I are
They're not much
escorting
different
you,
than what you
Yeah.
normally wear.
because I don't think they would have like, you know, whatever, like no nobility Daracool. I guess unless you guys are real fancy,
Yeah.
in which case we're
Yeah.
yeah. I guess that
I'm
seems
pretentious,
reasonable.
and I don't want to be escorted by slovenly dressed Daracool.
Yeah. Hey, you don't want some gas leading you around. Disgusting.
Exactly.
The ghoul
We want
stain.
Very
Yeah.
true.
Yeah,
What's the flaw, Cutter?
You're going to be in my company. You have to look the part.
This is not my kind of game. I'll just do whatever.
Well, it's definitely your kind of game. You wear faces all the time.
I'm never posing as an escort.
Oh, this is everything.
I already said you're
Every-
not a whore
everybody-
earlier.
Right.
He's
I
got a
was just going
price.
to say, would it help if I left the money on the bureau?
Money is of no use to me.
Gotta pay him in flesh.
Just, yeah, it's the-
All right.
comes full
so we
circle
do-
there.
I think we do that.
Because
Okay.
Jess, you can drop it from all of us, right? And then those guys don't change because they're already Derek Cole.
Ira Ghoul escort. That's the plan.
I think so. Kind of
Hey, if I'm not
Chewbacca
getting-
in handcuffs.
if I'm not getting to the pleasure barge,
Yeah, I think the pleasure part.
Yay! You guys still have an opportunity to go to the pleasure barge.
Maybe after.
It's out
maybe
there.
after the. Maybe on the 6th bell
that's
tomorrow.
24/7. I want to know why boats aren't coming or going. That's
Can Annie fly out and do
Super
like a
important.
drone sweep?
she can. I don't
Right,
know. I gotta look at
Attract
her.
a lot of attention.
She
Yeah,
doesn't have.
Because she's not invisible.
That's the problem.
And she's
She
bigger
doesn't-
now.
She's bigger, and she doesn't
Spine
have
devil.
ability anymore.
Okay.
So it's like, yeah.
Okay.
that's
I
not
think
gonna
So you
someone
work.
got- you really got-
call pest
yeah.
control.
You got helped out there, huh?
Yeah. But that reminds me too. I can cast invisibility on all of us.
I mean, that's not a terrible idea to like get us into the Flushing Quarter and then.
No, I think we can just walk in.
Well, I'm saying, like, as
we
we
need a
change-
dark alley then to
Yeah.
Oh, I
Dark
can
alley
find
in
a
an
dark
underground
alley.
ghoul city?
Right at the
Never,
edge.
nowhere.
right at the
I
edge,
don't know.
just so we
Um,
when we walk in,
yeah.
we look apart.
what are your thoughts on all this, Dariana?
Dariana kind of just doesn't care. She's feeling kind of depressed and just in her head.
Now,
Dariana's in her feelings right now, and
Yeah,
Mhm.
so I'm actually going to talk to Dorian. So, this changing to my side, did he say when? Is that going to happen after we're done, or?
Yes, supposedly when we accomplish this task, which by all accounts should be tomorrow.
Perhaps we should ask her for an escape route. If we accomplish this and have nowhere to go, it does her no good to have us slaughtered.
I mean, that could be. I don't have my voice on. That could be when we use the invisibility, right?
Yeah, but the ships aren't coming or going. We need out.
as your 5 Derek Cool just kind of hanging out in the street in the middle of the residential district, a head or two kind of peeks out at windows. And,
Yeah.
Oh, we're doing this while we're walking. This is like conversation
Ah.
while walking.
cool. Let's make sure.
Looking for that alleyway.
Yeah, right
A dark
near where we
alleyway.
go into the new district. Yeah, just someplace where we can just tuck aside for a second, drop it on 3 of us. Right? Is that kind of what?
Well, you have to drop it on all of us, but 2 of them don't change.
Oh, 2 of them doesn't matter.
Careful. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not part of the footsie gang.
Mm.
Thank
Just
God.
you 3 toe to toe in the morning.
Slim Pickens. But Beatum was the only one that really enjoyed it. Like that was.
I mean, it's a gnome.
The gnome,
It's
it's
a
a gnome
gnome
thing,
thing. Yeah, it's a gnome thing. You know.
I gotta go listen to that episode again. That one was funny as shit.
It's more intimate than kissing, right?
more intimate than kissing among the gnomes of Niemheim.
Oh,
And,
man.
Like when you thread the
Braid them together.
Toes.
Yeah.
Good one. That was a good
Like-
episode. It really
Ursa loved it.
set the tone for a lot of the campaign going forward,
Very
Okay.
dark.
apparently.
So are we? Oh, Cutter.
Oh, L2, thank you.
Yeah, buddy. A foot
Are we
sighting.
about to that district yet?
Yeah, one second. Let me update this plus real quick. Boom. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Which district did you, thank you so much, also. Which district did you want to go into? Were you gonna just head straight through here to the docks or towards the Fleshling Quarter, or what were you doing?
I think we're going to Fleshling, yeah.
Yeah, I think we're Cam kind of convinced us that made more sense, and we're going to go in though, kind of looking like we're being escorted. The
Absolutely.
three
So, yeah, if-
non-derricals.
If you want to find a dark alley on the way there, sure, you absolutely can. And if that's what you want to do, is just go
Change
into
out
an
my
alley and
visitor pass for my thing.
Yeah.
you can all switch your passes back to the old ones. You can drop the Dara coolness. So it's just the 2 escorts and the 3 of you. Sure, you absolutely can do
Oh,
that.
And the
And that
two
feels
derrickle are
so
using.
good to have that Derrickle stank off me.
I think the two derrickle are using their normal, the better pass, the Duke
Yes.
or whatever, his pass, Marcus. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. All right.
So we're going.
And then you're heading into the Fleshling Quarter.
Yeah.
So right,
Looking for.
so right as that kind of wait, so 4 midnight, 4, 8, 12, 4, 8. So 6 in a day. And you guys know that it happens at
It happens at
I
five,
guess-
5 bells, like 8 p.m.
the 5th bell. So wait, what? Well, what's the midnight bell? Is that the first one or the last one?
Well, you said it was a bell every 4 hours, so I figured 4 a.m.
So it's 4 a.m., 8, noon, 4, 8, and then the 6th bell is midnight.
midnight. Yeah.
Yeah, so 8 p.m. tomorrow. 8 p.m. So the 5th bell of today tolls throughout Vandercool as you are heading into the Fleshling Quarter. So as you head that direction, let's get to the Fleshling Quarter. You find a walled enclave that caters to living visitors and residents who are required to lodge in the quarter while conducting their business in the city, both by law and for their own safety. You see, even now, going in and out of the quarter, generally escorted by guards, members of a variety of subterranean or non-subterranean humanoid-ish races. Durgar, Drow, Kobolds, Mushroom folk, Darrow, and even some Dark folk.
Some
They
what?
all
Dampier.
no Dark folk are like little.
No, I wasn't saying that. I was saying, are there many Dampier?
Oh, none that you notice. Yeah, not from a distance. I think you guys are. You can't really tell from too far away, right? I mean, you can tell.
Just a little extra pale.
You got like Dampdar and
Yeah.
like
Mm,
Dampdar.
We just don't ask them
Yeah.
their names.
they appear to be mostly merchants, well dressed, coming in and out. And that's it. So as you approach the Fleshling Quarter, you notice that most of the guards do not enter the Fleshling Quarter.
Oh,
So the
Oh.
escorts kind of like stay and go. It's kind of like
Sweet plan, guys.
Uber of escorts, you know, you just kind of call one and they'll show up and walk you around and stuff like that.
that's okay. You guys should just come.
You guys should totally come.
You say most. Is that like
Yeah, exactly.
all- when you say most, you mean
you're
all,
privately
or-
hired to guard us. You're not Uber.
Yeah, so if you want to start walking into the Fleshling Quarter, no one necessarily stops you, the two Derrickul. But as you kind of cross into the quarter, you notice the other Derrickul guards outside of the district, kind of like looking at you questioningly as you walk through. And you notice that everywhere you're walking, because it's actually kind of hopping in here a little bit. You're given a wide berth, and all conversation kind of hushes as you go through, and you seem to be noticed by everyone. There's like almost like a ring, like this aura of empty space and quiet around you as you start walking into the district.
Get a room and hide you two away.
Yeah, or we could leave and go to the boat.
Yeah, I do like the idea though of getting information here.
Yeah, you guys should.
Oh, you two leave and go to the boat.
That's what
Can't
I'm
you
saying.
talk to them in their head? Like Eric can kind of.
We're getting a wide berth. I don't need to.
Yeah.
Well, no, but I'm saying like we don't like this could be a way to like draw heat though as well, right? Like this is the first time we've really.
Yeah,
done
I think
this.
we should. I think we should get out. I think once Corin sees us clearly standing out and us being looked at, I think he's gonna grab Cutter and say, "I think we left something on the boat."
Okay. I say we
turn
walk
around to-
back with you so you're not alone until you get outside this quarter. I don't think we got too far into it though, right?
I would assume that it's pretty noticeable pretty quickly, and that I wouldn't say that you really ever kind of like got into the flesh district as much as just that like kind of like the gate area where things are kind of coming and going. Was you were kind of in that, let's say, the foyer of the district, kind of more than like actually penetrating it.
Do I notice like other fleshlings paying their guards, like before the guards leave or anything? Like, is there like, and maybe like that's the reason. Like I'm trying to look around and like see if there's a thing I can do to kind of signal to them that like, okay, here you go, Uber, get the hell out of here. Like I'll see you
Like
tomorrow. or whatever.
you palm them the 20 or whatever, and
Well, just trying to figure out like how to make it. You know, maybe that's why they followed us in because we haven't paid them yet or whatever.
sure. Let's just say, yeah, that there is some type of transaction that happens with this, at least a tip or something. And let's say, yeah.
Okay. And I let them know too, if you two are going back to the boat, Annie's there. I can communicate with her telepathically, she with me as well. So we can stay in touch.
Is she able to talk to them?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I can talk to them through her.
That's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we can.
And you would all know
coordinate-
this,
We
huh?
can coordinate tomorrow.
Yeah,
so
we
we
can
can
figure out what
Then
time,
meet-
where, when,
meet back
everything. If anything happens to you guys, you can tell me right away, as long as that you can make it back to the boat.
Okay.
And vice versa. Once you get to the boat, anything happens to us, I can let you guys know immediately.
So 3 bells is noon. Do we want them to meet us at 3 or at 4 bells?
Oh,
Like noon
earlier.
or 4?
Well, 8 probably.
Yeah, 8 a.m. If not beforehand.
So we want to spend 12 hours migrating over to the blood temple or whatever.
No,
arena.
we got more to do.
Okay.
Look out.
Love it.
Still got a bunch of districts to go to.
Yeah, we got
Oh,
tons
okay.
of info to get. We need to figure out how the whole we're getting out. We got plenty to do.
Okay.
We got a long 24 hours ahead of us.
Victor is not very intelligent. He's
So.
just on task. Okay.
So once we
So you
separate,
guys
So we split the
kind of
party
do
for the
like
first time in a while.
yeah, like, you know.
and just for because I've been walking around the town now and I kind of have an idea of where I am. How long would I guesstimate it would take them to get back to the boat? 10 minutes?
I mean, the Flushing Corner and the dock, they're
You can
literally
see
right
it.
next to each other.
Yeah.
Maybe like 10 minutes. You literally just have to leave the district and make your way out to where the dock is. You're not far. Yeah.
Okay, and we're gonna go find a hotel with a bar that looks like it's bustling. Right?
Well, especially
Sure.
with like people that are kind of angry about not being able to travel.
Well, yeah, bustling. A lot of people.
Like,
Then
especially
you'll
with
find
booze.
everybody.
Yeah,
Vitamin
the
booze.
tavern's called the Grumbling Merchant.
Mm-hmm.
I should just change it to the Grumbling Merchant. But as you, so you guys make your way back to the docks, and you guys are just gonna hang out on the boat with the other two.
Yeah, I think we'd pay them to fuck off and come back tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah. So drop a couple gold. You can mark off. I'd say, yeah, another goal each at least,
Sure.
if not more.
Mark off 5.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
They're
So
gonna
you
have a
get
good
5
time.
between them. Yeah. And they fuck off. They just head into the city. I would love a roll. It's gonna be a bonus heat roll. For whoever would like to make it. Cam, have you done a heat roll yet?
I have not done a heat roll. Oh,
Sure,
I've
yeah,
done.
you've got
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cutter, you've done one, right? You did investigation.
Yeah.
So one of you can decide you're gonna roll for what these two chucklefucks do overnight, and if they blab their fucking mouths about the skin trader and where they got this gold. So let's see.
This is great. Chuckle fuckery check.
Let's see what would you guys like to roll? Let me look at Jason's character sheet real quick.
I already failed.
It seems like a
let
luck.
Let Cam
No,
fail.
you like
Wisdom-
hard.
a
you can
wisdom-based
hardly
luck.
fail.
I already got the heat.
Yeah.
I got the heat we got.
Why don't you why don't you roll me just like a flat wisdom check?
Me or Cam?
You.
Me?
Well,
Okay.
who rolled the last one, or either of you can decide. Either of you can roll it. Up
Yeah,
to you.
Jason got us the last heat. I'll get us this one.
Okay. So just
All
roll
right.
me a flat
You
wisdom
just want
check
straight wisdom.
Like the wisdom of giving these guys 5 gold.
Yeah.
and tell them to fuck off into the city for the night. Yeah.
Uh,
I love it. That's not terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Are you able to
Same.
bless Chuckle Fucker?
yeah.
No, we don't. I'm not banning. You guys
Yeah,
aren't
okay.
blessing these rolls or these
Okay.
rolls. So you
Okay.
fail, but not by much.
Okay.
Not by much. Just a smidge. Just a smidge. We'll say it's a bit of a moving target. So we'll give you a little bit of spicy heat here. Not too much. Just a little spicy heat. Just past halfway, right there. A little hotness. Because these two idiots start bragging and blabbing about the skin trader. They are the new captains. You just need to wait a day or two. You guys want to be crew of the skin trader, right? Yeah. How'd you get the skin trader? Oh, don't worry about it. A couple drinks later, we fucking killed them all. Every last one of them. So,
Happens when you align with Derical.
yeah. But luckily for you, the place where they're at is kind of a dive, and it's a lot of people they actually know. So they're not really like blabbing to people that are going to run to the guards. And a lot of these people don't remember it the next day. A lot of the Derical don't, because they're all, getting pretty wrecked by this. But at least one person does over here that probably shouldn't have, and says something to the guys at the dock. not directly to a guard, just says something to some of the other dock workers about the skin trader, asking questions. Did it really have a new captain? Stuff like that. And that little rumor starts kind of moving around and this or that. Some of these waterfront guards had heard tale of these just weird people at one of the restaurants, the Dance Macabre, who were just like trying to listen into conversations and butt in where they shouldn't have. And it kind of reminds him of that a little bit. And when they start to ask questions at other places, some of the descriptions seem to start to match up. Again, not quite at the point where they're like, we have drawings of these people when we're hunting them, but you think that, well, you don't know shit.
Yeah.
But we'll say that your heat is heated up a little bit in that at least your presence has been noted in more places around the city. And the skin trader specifically has been noted as an interesting tale at the least for that people are curious about. Because you guys explained it to the dock master, and that's your business and his business. Didn't really get around. Now the story of the skin trader is kind of getting around. New owners, who are they? Kind of situation. All this happens overnight while you guys are on the boat hanging out. The rest of you are looking for an inn in the Fleshling Quarter. And the one that you get most pointed to when you ask is called the Blind Traveler. It is right here, number 3. Built around a courtyard, this large 2-story inn and caravanserai. Someone really busted their thesaurus out for this chapter, right? I assume it's a place where caravans sarai at, I guess. It caters to traveling merchants, their guards, and beasts of burden, and other living visitors to the pure city. Its painted sign depicts a blindfolded man with a staff walking through a graveyard full of grinning ghouls.
Perfect for us.
Yeah. As you walk in, you see a bald Duriger behind the bar. Male. Most likely the owner, based on their dress. They're serving drinks, but they're dressed a little bit nicer than everybody else. Obviously standing on some type of structure behind the bar. And you see a sour-faced female Duriger kind of winching around the bar as well. You also get a waft of a sulfury smell. It's a little bit different than the sulfur sea. And you notice that there is a section dedicated to a bathhouse. So as you are making your way into the Blind Traveler to kind of figure out what you're doing for the evening, that's where we're going to call it for the evening.
Mm.
All right.
Yeah.
That's where we're at. So you guys have really made your way around this map. Let's mark some other stuff off, because you have been in this district. Ooh, that's not as good as some of the other ones. You've been in this district, especially over here. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll say you're going to do something in here. 6, 7. You've been in 8 out of 10 districts, or 7 out of 10 districts, because you have not been here, you have not been here, and you have not been here. Oh, you haven't been to the Coliseum either. Maybe I didn't have a couple extra checks, because that doesn't make sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, because I checked twice.
So we went through there. We just didn't go into the Coliseum.
We didn't go through there. We went around it.
Yeah, you went to the waterfront.
We
So
Okay.
1.
Oh, shit.
I have
I thought we okay,
I got-
'cause we just saw it. That's right.
Yeah, I got multiple checks is my problem here.
Little check happy.
Yeah, little check happy. Let's drop some of these checks down to the map layer. So you've been on the Waterfront District, you've been in the Temple District, you've been in the Merchant District, you were in the Docks, you've been in the Fleshling Quarter, you've been to the Residential District. You've been to 6.
And
Six districts.
the northern waterfront, the blue.
Oh, it's all waterfront's waterfront. Yeah,
Oh,
I'll
okay.
say that. Yeah. So you have not been in the Artisan District, you have not been in the Bone Heaps, you have not been in the Coliseum, and you have not been in the Northern Quarter. But you've hit more than half the city in a day, I think.
Yeah.
Learned a lot, seen a lot, and you're kind of wrapping up your first evening. You know that tomorrow at what amounts to 8 p.m., the fifth gong, the ritual, some type of sacrificial ritual of Archduke Avgost is happening in the Bone Cathedral. You have made a couple of allies. You know the Marquis is going to do his best to keep any reinforcements of the Harvester Legion from getting to the Bone Cathedral. You know that Dariana's good friend Countess Dallingen has some type of underground tunnel that is supposed to lead you into the Bone Cathedral to bypass any of the external guards. And you know what time the ritual is going to take place. You know Blackfly and Radomir, for various reasons, are trying to, it seems like, take over the Empire. Blackfly to potentially be the Emperor, and Marrow Blight to turn it into a Vardazane theocracy of hunger, potentially led by the demon Regala, Herald of Vardazane. A lot going on. Do you guys have any questions, concerns, issues before we wrap up this about anything?
So, Jess, you have the mirror. Cool. Okay. Because we probably need to start with that like at midnight tonight,
Yeah.
like next sesh.
Whenever we do whatever we're gonna do in
Yeah.
the
Cool.
bar, tavern, bathhouse.
Yeah. Well,
I was just like, shit, if we sent the mirror back
That
to the
should be
boat.
part of it.
Okay,
It's
good.
8
Yeah.
a.m. I mean 8 p.m. Right? It just gonged, so it's what 8:30.
Yeah. We got 4 hours.
So
Yeah.
yeah, 3.5 to 4 hours. Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah.
No.
So thank you everyone for being here. We do not have a game tomorrow because Putrescence Regnant is over. Jason is in the process of prepping Death in Space, which is going to be a really good time. We'll announce when that's going to happen. We have no weekly scroll this week because we're taking a little bit of a break. So the next time you will see us on the Adventure Archive will be next week here for the continuation of the countdown towards the end. And we'll see what happens after that. So if no one has anything else, that is where we're going to call it for this evening. Stick around. We are going to throw up some credits and probably raid into somebody else. So thank you so much for being here. Have a good night.